I'm Joanne Kearney and I work at the Commerce Commission. I used to work in the Ministry of Consumer Affairs with Douglas, but I've been with the Commission since October last year. And I'm just going to talk to you a bit about what the Commission does. So I'm going to go over 3 case studies that are relating to some quite recent prosecutions that we've done, and they're all mainly in the fair trading area. We also, I'll talk to you about what we do first. The financial services teams who were presented earlier deal with financial services, and we also cover the Credit Contracts Consumer Finance Act credit side of that, so we investigate and enforce the law there. We also deal with Fair Trading Act and the Commerce Act. The Commerce Act is the law that deals with anti-competitive behaviour. And I've put some words up there about that describe what exactly our role is and what we do. So we're probably best known for our enforcement activities, and that is indeed the largest part of our work and what I'm going to talk to you most about today. But the reason I'm here today is because we're also responsible under the law for monitoring, promoting, informing and educating, researching and reporting, and we put out a consumer issues report every year. And the last one, cooperating with other government agencies on consumer policy issues, and that includes overseas agencies. So that's once over quickly. Right, now this is the Fair Trading Act, Section 10. It's a bit of a wordy section. Talks about misleading conduct and trade. I thought the best way to illustrate this particular section was a recent example, and pictures are better than words sometimes, especially in this case. This is Nurofen. This helps you with your migraines. This one helps with period pain. Tension headaches, I'm not quite sure migraine tension headaches if there's a difference there, but perhaps there is. And this one is for back pain. So it's conceivable that if you were unfortunate enough to suffer from 4 different types of pain, you may have ended up with these 4 products in your cupboard and taking one accordingly. Well, unfortunately, this issue was picked up in Australia by a consumer advocacy group who looked at and noticed that, in fact, all these medicines contained exactly the same medicine. So they weren't any different between each other, and also they cost a lot more than the packet that was just covered you for all types of pain. So the Australian version of the Commerce Commission took some action and got a really big fine against this company, and here in New Zealand we followed suit. Quite a big fine, fined 1.8 million. That case did not involve a defended hearing. This company pretty much put their hands up and said, oh yeah, actually, yeah, sorry about that. And then began to negotiate with us, with the Commerce Commission, to come up with what they were prepared to pay and what we expected them to pay and what type of steps they should take to fix this behaviour. We're now getting complaints about other type of products that represent as being for different types of treatment, for different types of, like, I don't know if you've noticed, have you noticed any different types of products marketed toward particular types of issues, and you wonder, are they actually different? If you have those concerns, then let us know about them. Right.
Where did that $1 million go that they had to pay?
That one went into the Crown Consolidated Fund. If we enter into an agreed settlement that doesn't involve the court, then that money, for each settlement, it goes to a different place depending on what we agree with that company, and usually it goes to some kind of consumer advocacy group like a Citizens Advice Bureau or a budget advice service. Well, don't get too excited about that. There's not vast pots of money waiting, but it has proved to be quite useful in the past on occasion. Right, this next example is actually involving Trustpower, fined for the fine print. This was what we saw as the main headline. People saw good things happen when power and broadband get together, $49 a month. That's a pretty good deal, right? However, there was the fine print. Can you read that? Okay, let's look. You have to sign up for power and broadband on a 24-month contract too. Well, you know, that's not too bad. It's twice as long as they say, but For the second 12-month, the cost increases quite considerably. Not looking like such a good deal now, is it? And if you want to cancel, you have to pay an exit fee of $195. So we thought that this was a clear example of how the fine print significantly changed the meaning of the main representation, and you can't do that. So they were convicted and fined. That was last year, that case, I think. Next one, an insurance one, MBIE Insurance. They were fined $320,000 for misleading sales techniques. They obtained contact details through pretext. Pretext is pretense. Do you want us to call you and offer you a free quote? Do you want us to call you to discuss our insurance policies? They didn't tell you that someone was going to call you up and try and persuade you to buy a policy. Okay, so obtained details through pretext, set up policies a consumer did not want, charged them without their consent. So when you said you just wanted a quote, you got a policy, and they made it really difficult to get. They said, in order for me to give you a quote, I'm going to have to get some information, and you'll be entitled to cancel that later. Okay, this guy knocks on your door, has a really fancy catalogue, can buy stuff at half the price, pay by instalments, and you get the goods before you've paid them all off, and you can even get it on bad credit. That's what really happened, and you can read that yourself. Lots of people, and mainly he targeted low-income areas where people couldn't get credit in any other way, and they never got their goods, and that's what happened to him. So you can see the difference there between a Fair Trading Act case where it was reckless, and this case here was a criminal conviction, and he actually was sent to jail, and we could prove that he was intending not to supply them.